All right, live stream should be starting up now. How's it going, guys? Hope you're having a good day so far. We got a nice 8-game slate to talk about. We do have some news with the Pacers to go over. We're still waiting on the Pelicans news. That will change some things. That's really the big one that we're waiting on. Pelicans news, I would say. So we should get that somewhat soon. Let's go over, if you guys are new to the stream, how this works is we'll take a look at what we know so far, review the Vegas odds, then I'll go team by team and kind of talk with the players that I'm interested in, and then leave time for some questions at the end. So, going over news, Fournier out. Honestly, doesn't do much for me for Boston. Tough matchup. Don't have a ton of interest in the Celtics. Fred VanVleet out. That's big, right? So we can consider some value guys. Also Hood out. So Malachi Flynn, Bembry, right? Those guys we can look to once again. Clint Capella is in. Jamal Murray, questionable. That was one we didn't see last night. So if he's out, I think a guy like Monte Morris could be in play for value. Maybe a dart like PJ Dozier. So a couple viable value plays there if Murray's out. Obviously, would be a slight boost to everyone else in the offense. There is blowout risk, though, in that one. Some of the stuff is for Wednesday. Harden's out for a bit. Durant should be back tomorrow. Yes, so there's a bonus and Brogdon out. I was surprised Brogdon is out, too. So just because he practiced fully yesterday, I thought for sure he would play in this one. But they're holding out Brogdon. They're holding out Sabonis. Lamb is in. Lamb's minutes have been way down recently, but they are a little bit thinner now. So like you could maybe take a shot on Jeremy Lamb. I just worried he only plays like 15-ish minutes. We got Killian Hayes out for rest. Doesn't do much. Pistons still have like 50 guys they can use. And that seems to be it. Again, NAW, Josh Hart, we know they're already out. They're going to be out for a little bit. Unfortunate there for Josh Hart. Or for Josh Hart, yes. But for NAW, you guys know he is my boy. All right. Going over some Vegas odds here. We have the Bulls and the Pacers at 224 over-under. The Bulls are currently 2.5-point favorites with that news. 76ers and Celtics at 222 over-under. Philly, 2-point favorites. Grizzlies and Heat at 216 over-under. This one should be ugly. Heat, 5.5-point favorites. Trailblazers and Clippers is a 230 over-under. The Clippers are 6-point favorites. Pistons and Nuggets at 214 over-under. The Nuggets are 12-point favorites, again, some blowout risk there. And that is what we got. So before I get into the team-by-team breakdown, guys, if you could hit that like button, it helps me out more than you know. Currently at 150 viewers and 31 likes. And let's try to reach 100 before I end the show. That would be greatly, greatly appreciated. Okay, so starting off with Chicago and Indiana. On the Chicago side, there's a couple viable plays here. Vucevic as a contrarian spend up, I think, is a decent option. Has been a little bit up and down with since joining the Bulls. I don't think he's a priority spend up, but definitely not out of play. Kind of the same with LaVine. Like LaVine has not been great since Vuce has been on this team, but now the price is below 8K, so it's like, yeah, those guys are both playable. Daniel Tice is out. That actually is somewhat significant. Again, I don't know what they're going to do, whether it be do they add Al-Farouq Aminu to the rotation, or do they just give more minutes to Markkanen and Thad Young? If you think it's the latter, if you think they give more minutes to Thad Young and Markkanen, then both these guys are playable. Like Thad maybe gets 25 to 30 instead of like low 20s minutes, and Markkanen maybe gets close to the 30-minute mark too. So those guys do become a little more playable. I don't know if they're necessary on the slate with some of the Pacers value, with some of possible Pelicans value. Santa Rancy seems priced about right. Kobe White's in. Not much else here for Chicago. Now, on the Indiana side, one of my favorite teams to target, and it's not close. Probably my favorite team to target. No Sabonis, no Brogdon is absolutely huge. Karis LeVert, one of the top plays of the slate, if not the top play. Great matchup. Going to be the number one player on offense. I mean, you remember what happened when he was on Brooklyn and, both the stars are out? LeVert just had massive games. It's kind of what you're going to see here. So absolutely love LeVert at that price. I really like Miles Turner too. Gets a massive boost playing without Domantas Sabonis. So those two of the top plays of the slate. Also T.J. McConnell. Really like him. Don't think he starts because we've seen Brogdon miss a couple games and he's come off the bench. But either way, he should push for 30 to 35 minutes. He's a guy that can fill up the stat sheet. Doug McDermott, assuming he starts, I do like for value as well. The one downside of McDermott is he's very reliant on the scoring. But hey, he should play close to 30 minutes. If you want to take a shot in Edmund Sumner, I'm guessing he starts. Played 30 minutes the last game. I think we get around 20-ish minutes from him. He is small forward eligible too, which is kind of nice. You can use him there if you want. Again, Jeremy Lamb's in. I don't know how many minutes he plays. Again, minutes have not been great for him, but maybe take a shot in him and just hope he gets hot and hope they extend him a bit. That's probably it. Like Justin Holiday, even that price, I just don't play Justin Holiday. I just don't play him. You can go there if you want. I just prefer the other Pacers I mentioned. So, yeah, Pacers are a team I love. I think you should load up on the Pacers today. Pelicans and Hawks, I mean, this is just hard to say right now because we don't have this news. So, maybe we'll circle back to this game. Let's see. I still no news. We'll circle back to this one just because I just don't know what to say right at the moment, right? There's still a lot up in the air. Philly and Boston, this one will be quick. Not much interest on Philly. You can take a shot at Embiid as a contrarian spend up. The minutes in his first game back, only 29 in a competitive game. A little bit worrisome. So maybe he plays normal minutes. Maybe he plays 35 plus. If he does, I think there's a good chance he could get you there. But I would say just, again, more contrarian play, and there's absolutely no one else I'm getting to on Philly. On the Boston side, not much. You would think Fournier being out, maybe I would have more interest in these Boston guys. No, I don't. Tatum, Brown, Kemba, secondary options. Robert Williams, almost a 7K. Worried about the foul trouble against Embiid. Marcus Smart, priced about right. There's like nothing here. This game's basically a cross-off for me. Two good, slow, defensive teams. Yeah, not for me. Not for me. All right, Lakers and Raptors. So, big news is Drummond. We're still waiting on that Drummond news. I think Schroeder and Kuzma are actually good plays to go overlooked. Schroeder, Kuzma, going to be, the top guys here in offense. Both should play mid-30s minutes. So I like both Schroeder and Kuzma. Again, Drummond news is pretty big. If he's out, I think Harrell becomes a viable play. The minutes are still a little bit up and down. Like, even when Drummond is out against the Kings, he only played 17 minutes, which was super frustrating because I thought that was a game he could play a lot more against like a high-energy Kings team. They only play him 17 minutes. For some reason, they play the corpse of Marc Gasol like mid-20s minutes. I have no idea why. But yeah, if there's no Drummond, I think Harrell then is viable for tournaments. Other than that, again, I don't really want to go to Gasol. I think there's too many good center plays for me to go there. Not much else. THT has gotten extended the last couple games due to blowouts. I think in a normal game, he probably only plays 15 to 20 minutes. And then Drummond himself, if Drummond does play, I think he's a viable tournament play. He did not look great in his first game in 14 minutes, got in foul trouble, and again, left due to injury. Again, I just don't know how many minutes he's going to play. So I think if Drummond plays, Gasol will be out of the rotation. And you can take a shot on Drummond. I have no idea what the minutes will be. On the Toronto side, so keep an eye on the starting lineup, but Flynn and Bembry are the two value guys you want to look to. Flynn played big minutes on the bench, was great. Now, he did have 4 steals, 3 blocks. We're not going to get that again, but they're thin at the guard position. So I do like Malachi Flynn. Zion in and Ingram out. Okay. So I want to see, is there a limitation for Zion, right? Ingram unlikely, Zion likely. It's a thumb, though. It's a thumb, so I think he plays full minutes, right? I forgot that was just a thumb injury. Dwayne Dedman. I haven't heard that name in a bit. He's signing with the Heat. Okay, so I don't think there's going to be a limit there for Zion. We'll circle back after this game here. But, yeah, so Malachi Flynn, DeAndre Bembry, both played big minutes last game. I think Flynn's minutes are actually a little bit more secure than Bembry. Bembry played 30. Maybe loses a few minutes this one. We'll see. Either way, I think Bembry and Flynn are good value plays. Two of the better value plays, in my opinion. Boucher started, only played 20 minutes. We know that's just been the story of his season. He's a super productive guy. It's just a matter of will the minutes be there, right? So viable for tournaments. I'm leaning towards not playing him today, which means that he's going to play 30 minutes and go for 50 fantasy points. Lock it in. Lock in a massive ceiling game from Boucher and him actually getting minutes. Gary Trenton Jr. at 6.2. It's just, again, he was somewhat chalky last slate. I warned people, it's okay, if he's not shooting the ball well, he's not going to get you there. And not like he shot terrible, but he just doesn't do any peripheral stats. So it's like, he's playable. He'll play probably 30, 35 minutes. Drummond out. Okay, so we're getting some news here. So that's basically just, again, Harrell, I think now is a viable tournament play at his price. So yeah, Trent, you can go there. OG at 7K, viable too, but don't love it. Boucher lock, yeah. And then Pascal Siakam, I mean, come on. Just come on, man. Like, how? How every time I play him, when everyone's out, floor game. Fade him in like 3 quarters, goes for 60. Does that make sense to anybody? Does that make sense to anyone here? Right? I have no idea what Pascal Siakam is going to do. He gets a massive usage boost with both those guards out of play. Will we get 30? Will we get 60? I don't know. The upside is there at least. So Siakam's just a tricky one. I feel like if I don't play him, he's going to go off. Again, another one that I'm just a little bit tilted about recently because it's been 3 straight games where I've gotten wrong on Siakam. So let's move on to, let's circle back now to New Orleans. All right, so I need to see what they do with the starting lineup. But Zion is a guy that as long as there's no, Drummond out, as long as there's no limit, I don't think there will be since this is a thumb injury. I think Zion Williamson is a really good spend up. I do. Against this Atlanta Hawks team, if he's going to play mid-30s minutes, no Ingram, missing a lot of other guys in this team, I do like Zion a good amount. Bledsoe with Zion in at 6'1", kind of off Bledsoe. Lonzo Ball, I think, is still viable. I think Lonzo's going to play close to 40 minutes, 35 to 40. I think Lonzo and Zion are the two guys I like. Adams' role doesn't really change. He'll still probably play about 30 minutes. I think he's fine. Now, James Johnson, was Zion in this lineup? I don't like him as much. If he starts still, I think he's playable. But this is a big difference, right? We had James Johnson in this lineup with basically no other forwards. Now we got Zion in the lineup, who's a super high usage guy. So James Johnson, not really as high on. Like Hayes and Hernan Gomez, if Hayes starts still, I don't think they're going to start like a 3-headed monster of Adams, Hayes, and Zion. So I don't think that'll happen. So that basically takes Hernan Gomez and Hayes out of play for me too. So that's where I'm at right now with the Pelicans. All right, Memphis, Miami. This one will be really quick. Memphis, no interest. No real interest in anyone. Tough matchup. Ja, JV, sure, you can take a shot on them in tournaments. Clark, questionable, doesn't do much. Maybe a few extra minutes for Tillman. He's already priced up. You can go to slow-mo. I don't love it. Grayson Allen, 4-4. Probably plays mid-20s minutes. As the last piece in, sure. But there's not a lot I like. Same thing on Miami side. Fully healthy team. It's a decent matchup. I'm going to avoid them. Detroit, Denver. Detroit, Grant and Plumlee, viable tournament plays here. It's a revenge game narrative for both. If you think this game can stay close, then I think Grant and Plumlee are guys you can look to. But obviously there's some blowout risk. We'll talk about that with the Denver guys. As far as everyone else, again, they're just running like 50 guys in this rotation right now. So hard to get super excited about anyone. Diallo probably plays 20 to 25 minutes. The guards, they still have, like, again, so many. There's just not much else here in Detroit. On the Denver side, keep an eye on Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray is pretty big news. He's questionable. It's a game against Detroit. Like, I don't think they need him, so maybe he misses. If he does miss, I'm guessing it'll be Monte Morris at 3'9", who moves into the starting lineup. Now, he only has played one game since returning from about a 3-week injury. So if there's a limit for Monte Morris and not so much, then maybe they start a guy Composo, or maybe they start Dozier. I would have some interest in whoever Denver starts at the point guard position if Murray's out. And the rest of the starters, the same thing I'll say about Detroit guys, right? Are you confident this game stays close? I think it's a pretty big risk, but if you are, you can look to Jokic. He has taken a big usage hit since Aaron Gordon has come in. I think Aaron Gordon himself would probably be the first guy I would look to, honestly. 39 and 35 minutes after 21 and 25 the previous two games. So it looks like he's full go, full big minutes, a guy that can, stuff a stat sheet. I like the matchups. So Aaron Gordon's a guy I like at his price. You can land on Barton or MPJ too, but Gordon's probably the guy I look to first. All right, let's see. Let's refresh, see if we got any more news here. All right, we're still up to date. So Milwaukee Golden State, I like this game. I like the spend-ups in this game. Giannis Antetokounmpo, one of the best spend-ups in my opinion. Almost a 240 over-under. Game should be played super fast. Love Giannis. I think Drew Holiday of Drew and Milton would be the guy I would go to. Just because he's been playing phenomenal. He's also shooting guard eligible, which is nice. I don't know if he's continued to put up these type of numbers, but if you land on Drew, I'm not going to talk you off him. There's not much else here in Milwaukee. On the Golden State side, it's really just Steph and Draymond. I like both a good amount. I like pairing Steph with Giannis, or you could pair Draymond with Giannis. Steph, we know, has got 60-plus fantasy win upside when really getting it going. Draymond Green should play mid-30s minutes in an up-tempo game. He's got triple-double upside. So the top two guys there for Golden State. Wiggins, Oubre, absolutely not. No way in Jordan Poole at that price. There's nothing else here for Golden State. Finally, Portland Clippers. The guy that stands out to me is Enes Kanter at 6K. No Yusuf Nurkic. Minutes-wise, I think somewhere around 25 to 35. If he plays 25, probably not going to have a big game. If he plays 35 minutes, he will probably crush. So my worry with Kanter is, like I said in the video, both teams have the ability to go small here. So Kanter, Zubac, we've seen it from Portland. We've seen them go small. We've seen it from the Clippers where they go small and go like Marcus Morris at the 5. So that is my worry with both centers in this game. If you're confident that they stay big and they keep Kanter and they keep Zubac out there, then I really like Kanter. The risk is I'm a little bit concerned they go small. Lillard, CJ, fine plays in the slate. Neither priorities, but they're both decent options. Covington should play mid-30s minutes. The guy can stuff a stat sheet. Not a priority, though, for me. On the Clipper side, a little bit more. I like Kawhi and Paul George. I think 2 of the better plays of the slate. Kawhi a little bit safer. Should play mid-30s minutes. Can stuff a stat sheet in a great matchup. And Paul George should also play mid-30s minutes. Been a little bit more up and down, but I like the price on him at 8-1. And Zubac, the same thing I'll say about Kanter. If you're confident both teams stay big, then you can definitely pair like Zubac and Kanter together if you want to. My worry is both teams go small, and Zubac, Kanter get limited like 25 minutes. That's a concern with both these centers. Other than that, there's not much else here for the Clippers. So that is basically what I got for the breakdown, guys. Let's see. Do we have any more news here? Is Jeremy Lamb available to play? All right, so I'll stay on for about 15 minutes because I had to update some stuff for Patreon. So I'm going to have to get out of here a little bit early. Let's get to some questions here. Bogdan or Gary Trent? I don't like either, to be honest. I'm just going to be honest with you. If I had to pick one, it would be Bogdan just because he does more of the peripherals. But I'm not really super high on either. Never Baines. Baines will play about 15 to 20 minutes. He's min-price. I think there's better value on the slate. Would you start any other guard over Curry? Depends on what price range you're looking at. Yeah, I think the Pacers look really good today. I think the Pacers look really. They're my favorite team to target. Ball, LeVert, Jeremy Grant, Thad Young, Turner, Flynn, Bembry, and Vooch. Okay. Yeah, so you're going to Jeremy Grant. I think, again, if you think that game stays close, it's probably because of a big game from Grant or Plumlee. So, that's your stance. I'm good with it. Thad Young, there's a little bit of a risk because they could just add Al-Farouq Amino to their rotation, and maybe he only plays 22 to 25 minutes. Yeah, I think Kanter, if I knew Kanter was going to play 35 minutes tonight, I would lock him in. My concern is I think there's a chance he only plays 25. Yeah, Morris or Bembry? I think right now it's Bembry, assuming he gets similar minutes. I don't know if he plays 30 again, but I think we'll get somewhere around 23 to 30 minutes from Bembry. Morris is only viable if Murray is out, right? Yeah, so you really see keeping Kanter and Zubac in the game, then I think they both look like really good plays. PG and Dame Beef. Yeah, if you want to pair, or you can pair them together if you want. Kanter season, I do like him. Okay, we can go over Atlanta. On the Atlanta side, I think Trae Young as a contrarian spend up looks like a decent option. Had a terrible game last game. I'm not super worried about that. Capella. With Steven Adams is in not as good of a spot, but he still should play big minutes. He's still a great point per minute guy. Bogdan, Gallinari, Lou Williams, all viable in the mid-range. Bogdan, not as good of a play with Trae Young in. Still in play. Gallinari gets a boost. No John Collins, a rebounds boost. We should get around, I would say, 30 minutes from him. And then Lou Williams on the bench should play mid-20s. So it's basically all the Atlanta guys are filler options for me. No priorities for me with the top 5 guys, but Trae, Capella, Bogdan, Gallinari, and Lou Williams are all in play. That's my feelings, really. So, not super strong take. Favorite 2 of Grant, Draymond, Gordon, or Thad Young? Draymond, for me, 1. I'll say Draymond and Aaron Gordon. Thoughts on Lowry and Van Fleet? Yes, Lowry and Van Fleet with LeBron. Best spend-ups? I think Giannis is probably an optimal spend-up today. Thad Young or Covington? It's tricky with Thad Young, right? Because his minutes have been a little bit up and down. Now, there is no Tice, but they could just add an Amino to the rotation. I think upside-wise, maybe Thad Young. I think if things go right for Thad, if I knew Thad was going to play 32 minutes tonight, I would really like him. So take a shot on Thad and hope the minutes are there. Yeah, LeVert, Levine, or CJ. LeVert for sure. And then Levine versus CJ. I'll go CJ. No, I think you can play 4 Pacers. McDermott or Sumner? McDermott for me. Thoughts on Flynn, Paul George, McDermott, Siakam, Turner, Curry. in small field. Okay, you're playing Robert Williams too. So Robert Williams, I voiced my concerns. Foul trouble against Embiid is what I'm worried about. He is a good point per minute guy. Capella, yeah, I think Capella is probably my favorite player in the Hawks. Zion or Siakam? If there's no limit for Zion Williamson, I might lean Zion there. Mcdermott for the discount over Marcus Morris. Sumner worth it. I think he's viable. If he starts, my worry is Lamb back. That might eat into his minutes. Plus, like, he'll probably start at point, but they will bring McConnell in pretty early. Budget shooting guards. Let's see. So value shooting guards. And Grayson Allen's playable. I don't love the matchup, but he'll play probably around mid-20s minutes there. You have like the Denver guys at Campozo, Dozier, only playable if Jamal Murray is out. And Morris too, right? So those value Denver guys I think are in play. Other than that, though, yeah, there's not much value for shooting guard. No, you don't have to run it back with Levine. Cantor and Lonzo or Draymond and Kuzma. Ooh, that's a tough one. That's really tough. Give me the first one that's close. Utility for 5,200. Let's see. What do we got? For 5,200 in utility. So no one Howard, no one Lopez, no one Poole, no one Brooks, no one Thomas, no one Sato. Yeah, right? There's not a lot here. I would probably rebuild. I think you can go to Markkanen at 4-5, but this range is kind of gross. And there's not much here for me. Lonzo or Schroeder's a tough one. I'll go Lonzo. There. Zion or spend up to Giannis? I think either. I think either looks really good. Assuming there's no limit for Zion, though, I do like him for sure. Yeah, best value, I think the Raptors guys. I think the Raptors guys at the moment. Schroeder, LeVert, Bembry, Giannis, Turner, Flynn. I like that a lot. Kobe. I really like that. Curry, Cantor, Zion, or Paul George, Boucher, and Giannis for tournaments. I'll go the first one. Zion and Kawhi, or Giannis and Jaylen Brown. Zion, Kawhi, just because I'm not really on Jaylen Brown. Morris twins, not much interest in either, to be honest. Flynn, Grayson, Allen, Bembry, Draymond, Miles Turner, McConnell, Giannis, and Curry. Okay. I think it's a good build. You're pairing Giannis with Steph. I like that for tournaments. You got the value in there. You got Draymond in there too. Guard for 5,600. Let's take a look. McConnell. Yeah, McConnell for sure. Aaron Holiday, not for me. No, I think it's getting too cute with Holiday, or Aaron Holiday, or Jakar Sampson. I think it's getting too cute there. Center under 6,200. Miles Turner, I don't know, it's 6,200 and under. Miles Turner, if you can't get to Turner, then Cantor probably. I do have some interest in Harrell, though, with no Drummond. The issue with Harrell is the minutes, right? He could honestly play under 20 minutes. I would not be super surprised. So that is a concern there with Montrez. Yeah, so it's that young revenge game. Thoughts on Isaiah? Was Zion in? It's just too pricey, right? Kawhi or Giannis? Giannis. Excited for the Masters? Yeah, I'm really excited for the Masters. I'm probably going to I haven't played golf in a while, but I'm definitely going to make a lineup. Utility for 8,300. Okay, so at that price point, I'm not really looking to Bam. It's probably Siakam, as gross as that sounds, but he has a lot of upside. Just if you don't want to go to Siakam, then go Paul George. I think Paul George also looks pretty good. I think Siakam, though, would be the first guy in. It's just which Siakam are we going to get, right? For Super Draft, I don't know the multipliers, so it's hard for me to say. Yeah, Cantor and Montrez, I think Cantor's actually safer. I think Cantor's actually safer. Flynn, LeVert, Bembry, Siakam, Cantor, McConnell. I like that a lot. I do. No, Vucevic isn't a lock. I think he's a decent contrarian spin up. I don't think Vooch is a priority for me. I think there's other spin ups I prefer. Lonzo, LeVert, Sumner, Zion, Draymond, McConnell. Okay. Yeah, so Drew is, I would personally rather get to Giannis. But Drew has been playing out of his mind if you want to continue to ride that hot streak. Yeah, Levine is really cheap, but he's really taking a hit offensively with Vooch in. Flynn, Paul George, McDermott. Okay. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think it's fine. Again, Rob Williams, I laid up the risk there. Cantor, Miles, or Boucher for tourney. I don't know if I could do Boucher right now. So I think Miles is probably the optimal play there. THT has played more because of blowouts recently. I'm not really on him. Yeah, I guess he's still in play if James Johnson starts, but he takes a pretty big usage hit with Zion in there. Yeah, so Jeremy Grant, I think he's in play for tournaments. Right? If you think the game stays close, it's Grant and Plumlee. Yes, I think Lonzo's still in play. Boucher or Turner, it's Turner. Yeah, Giannis will play. Zubac, a fine center play. Should play, I would say, around 30 minutes, maybe a little more, maybe a little bit less. Draymond or Kuz, I think Draymond. Since I've been Siakam so much, you might as well play him again and hope he goes off exactly. So shooting guard I think it's probably Grayson Allen there. I think that's a good lineup, Jaden. Siwoo Kim, all right. Jokic and Sumner or Paul George and Gary Trent. I don't really like Sumner. I don't really like Gary Trent. Probably the second one. And just hope Gary Trent hits the shots. Fading LeVert. I'm personally not doing it. I think it's a pretty bold move on this slate. I think LeVert is probably the top play, in my opinion. Yeah, Doug or Monte Morris right now, it's McDermott. Just because we don't know Jamal Murray news. Flynn or McConnell, both 5K in FanDuel. So there, it's McConnell. I would rather have McConnell than Flynn if they're both the same price. All right, got a couple minutes left, guys. Then I'm going to call it. So make sure to throw them in there. Lillard and GPPs. Yeah, Lillard's going to be contrarian. Breakdown for the Masters. Probably not this year. Just because limited time right now, working full time plus NBA. So I just really don't have the time for it right now. But I would say next year probably I will have. Maybe even in the summer I'll have some golf start getting some golf content up there. Zion and Cash, yeah, if there's no limit, I think you can get to Zion for sure. I don't think there's going to be too because it's a thumb, so assuming there is no limit, I do like Zion. I do. Yeah, is Core going to change? Probably not, but I'm, with that news, I think Zion looks like I'm probably going to add Zion to the player pool. Do you like Toronto stack, Bembry, Boucher, Flynn, OG, Fade, Siakam? I think the Toronto stack is still in play. I would rather have the Pacer stack in this one. But Toronto's still a team I have interest in, especially the value. And then Siakam at the top. Embiid only played 29 minutes the last game. A viable contrarian spend up. I'm not really looking to him for my build, though. Flynn and McDermott, Flynn. McConnell, LeVert, Bembry, Giannis, Cantor, Flynn, Rocco. Okay, I think that's a pretty solid lineup. Who would like to win the Masters? Honestly, I'm not going to say at the moment just because I haven't done a ton of research. Draymond or Aaron Gordon? Draymond because I'm worried about the blowout there. That's the only reason about Aaron Gordon. But I do if the Pistons keep it close, I think Aaron Gordon can have a big game. Is it okay to fade LeVert if you're doing single entry, but make sure you have lines with LeVert? Yeah, if you're making other lineups, like you can fade LeVert. But in my one lineup, I will not be fading him. Schroeder or Jeremy Grant? Schroeder. The reason with Jeremy Grant is I think Jeremy Grant's a good tournament play, right? If Detroit's going to stay in this game, it's probably because of Grant. So I like Grant for GPPs. It just depends on, do you think this game stays close? So, yeah. Grant's a guy that I think you can definitely go to for tournaments. Kuzma or Gordon. I'll go Kuzma just because I'm more confident the game stays close. Spieth, yeah. Schroeder, Kuzma. Lonzo, LeVert, Bembry, Zion, Turner. I think that's a good lineup, yeah. Pacer stack. What's the Pacer stack? Or when? Or what? I think those guys that we went over, like Turner, you got LeVert, you got McConnell, you got McDermott, you got Sumner for value. Maybe you take a shot at Lamb and hope he gets minutes. Steph or Paul George. Steph, you can get to him. McConnell, a must play? No, but I think he's a really good play. Best valued players, the Raptors guys right now. So again, Bembry, Flynn, I think are the guys I'm looking to. Yep, Boucher's going to smash. I already know it's going to happen because I'm probably not going to play him today because there's a lot of good center plays. Drew Middleton, Draymond, Oubre. I wouldn't play Oubre. I don't think I play Middleton either. I would rather get all the way to the top in that game. So guys like Giannis, Steph, and Draymond are really where I'm looking. Flynn, LeVert, Bembry, Giannis, Cantor. Yeah, I think that's a good build. Turner, McConnell, or McDermott and Ball. Give me the first one there. Yeah, he got a lot there in blowout though. LeVert, McConnell, Justin Holiday, Sumner, Bembry, Gordon, Draymond, Zion, and Cantor. All right, again, Justin Holiday's not, or that's Drew Holiday, I'm guessing probably. Which Jay Holiday? I'm guessing that's Drew Holiday. Yeah, Robert Williams or Kyle Kuzma. I'll go Kuzma, and just because I'm worried about Robert Williams' foul trouble. IT, not with Zion there. I just don't know what his role is going to be, how many minutes he's going to play. I mean, you can take a shot at him for tournaments, but it's not like he's cheap, right? If he was like 3-5, I would have interest in Isaiah. He's like, what, over 5K? So, right? Yeah. Utility for 4.6. Probably going to be one of those Pacers guys, I'm guessing. Let's see. 4.6. That's not really interested in Steph. I think Markkanen's in play. Again, my worry with Markkanen is if they just add Amino to the rotation, so that's the risk there. You can go to Justin Holiday or McDermott. Those are probably the guys I'm looking to. So either like Pacer guy with Drew or with Justin or McDermott, or you could go Lauri Markkanen and hope he plays 30+ minutes. McConnell, LeVert, Bembry. Yeah, I think that's a good lineup. Yeah, Markeith's not really a guy I'm on. If that's like a last piece, that's all right. But I mean, he's been playing some decent minutes. Markieff Morris. He'll probably get around 30. I just think the price is kind of a secondary play for me. Dame, Siakam, or Giannis and Schroeder. Probably Giannis and Schroeder. Yeah. That's fine. Ariza, not really on him. Yeah, so James Johnson, the only way I play him is if he starts, but I'm not really super high on him with Zion in, right? He definitely takes a usage hit, and he might lose some minutes too. So James Johnson, yeah, not really on. I need to see the starting lineup though. Zion or Lonzo. Zion if you can get to him. Assuming there's no limitations, I prefer Zion. All right, guys, let's refresh one more time, then I'm going to call it a day. So I appreciate everyone coming to check out the stream. We were on for a good 35 minutes there. Again, I'll be back as always tomorrow. So just monitor this news. Good luck to everyone. It's a nice 8-game slate. And again, I'll see you guys all back here tomorrow for another stream.